I am here with Dave from Baldman Games. Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about what exactly is Baldman Games?
So Baldman Games, we are the premier organizer for D&D for Wizards of the Coast. So we go around the country, the world, online, running Dungeons and Dragons at conventions, shows, demos, right? We want people to play D&D. Right. That's what we do.
Awesome.
We say we put butts in seats.
Yeah.
Right. We put butts in seats and they have a good time.
Awesome. Now, this convention, MagicCon Chicago, is the first convention where Dungeons and Dragons is premiering League of Greyhawk. Your team has been involved with that. Can you tell us a little bit about what League of Greyhawk is for those who aren't familiar with it?
So it's Legends of Greyhawk.
Oh, Legends of Greyhawk.
Legends
I apologize. Yeah.
It's all good. So Legends of Greyhawk is the new organized play campaign that will be premiering at Gen Con this summer in August. Organized play campaign is where you can play a game at a convention, at your house, at a local game store, a local convention, and your character's actually portable. Okay. You can play that character in any Legends of Greyhawk adventure anywhere in the world.
Awesome.
So the people that are playing here with their characters, they're getting cool tchotchkes, getting to do cool fun things. They can bring those characters to Gen Con and play some more. They can then go to PAX West or PAX Unplugged or Origins or our virtual D&D weekend games that we run online every month and continue to play those same characters through the story.
Awesome. So how's it been going playing here at MagicCon Chicago so far?
It's been great. I think Friday was a little slow to start with because I think a lot of people were still figuring out, wait, there's D&D at MagicCon?
Right.
I hate that, but but it's MagicCon. Why is there D&D here, right? But once people figured it out, we've not had many empty seats from yesterday to today, so it's been just overwhelmingly positive. I've had a great time.
Good. Yeah, and I got to play in a couple of one-shots over the weekend, and they were fantastic. They were a lot of fun. It was just great to try out with the 2024 rules. So that's one of the highlights of Legends of Greyhawk is that it's all 2024 rules. So people were getting to learn a little bit about the differences between the 5th edition that came out 2014 and 2024 as well.
Yeah, I mean, the vast majority of people that are playing Dungeons and Dragons right now started with 5th edition.
Right.
Yeah. I used to make this joke that I was dragging the average age of a Dungeons and Dragons player behind me into the retirement home because the age just kept growing every year because there wasn't a lot of new people coming in, especially a lot of younger people.
Right.
And 5th edition really changed that.
Right.
There's just a massive influx of new players. And so they're really excited, with this new organized play campaign that they get in on the ground floor. Like they don't need to have 10 years worth of books or experience or anything else, right? They can literally use the free core rules that you can get on D&D Beyond or the player's handbook, make a character and get to participate right from day one and feel like they're part of it from the start, which is what we want.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So with the new rules of 2024, what's been like your favorite change that they've done?
I like the monsters hit a lot harder.
Yes.
Right. The monsters, it used to be a joke, in the 5th edition and some of our previous stuff, like that it was pretty impossible to kill a player character. Right. The monsters just didn't have enough oomph. And so when we actually wrote these adventures and we were doing play tests for them, the first play tests, we wiped a lot of people out. And we were like, okay, we need to step back a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Right? But one of the things I like, right, I always have to be truly heroic, there has to be danger. Right. There has to be the potential of consequences that you don't like. Right. Whether it's your character dying or a curse or the bad guy gets away to live another day. Right.
Yeah.
It has to be consequences. And I think you feel the most heroic and you have the most fun when you really think what you've done has mattered and then, you took a risk.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely saw that at my table. Like every table, there was somebody that almost got killed or were rolling death saving throws. So we definitely felt that with these adventures. Yeah.
I mean, your first and second level character.
Yeah. So it's going to happen.
A little crunchy, one good nat 20 and even the fighter goes down.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, even with, and I think that's one of the things I noticed with 2024 that initially some people who were DMs were a little bit worried is that the players, characters got so much like abilities and so much revamp with like what they are able to do, especially with weapon master properties, stuff like that.
Yes.
So when the monster manual came out and people saw that, some of these monsters can now it's not even a saving throw. They just automatically did this damage. It definitely helps rebalance that and makes it feel a little bit more balanced in terms of it can go either way now.
I have some friends that are big analytics guys, and they've been going through all the monsters and calculating monster damage per round based on CR levels. It's just really fascinating comparing what they've come up with the older numbers and how they've changed.
I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. So with the Legends of Greyhawk, you mentioned that Gen Con's going to be the big premiere. What else can we expect from Legends of Greyhawk and Baldman Games in terms of what's coming later this year?
Right. So later this year, right. So we have our previews that we're doing here, right. And then we'll rerun some of this preview content. But the big adventure that they played here, Battle of Emerald Meadows, right, where we went back 7 years and they got to participate in the battle that overthrew the Temple of Elemental Evil, right, the classic adventure,
right.
That's affecting Gen Con, right. The results of that, I was actually just sitting with my writing team and we were talking about how we were going to incorporate those results of what the players did is going to affect the campaign for everybody else, right? And we're going to do that same kind of thing at Gen Con. There'll be another event at Gen Con that'll be a big, giant, massive multi-table event where the players will get to make they'll make the choices that are going to fundamentally change the campaign, right? For good, or they might just bork it up and be like, the rest of the world will be like, thanks, guys. You had one job, you couldn't do your job.
Didn't do that, yeah.
Didn't do that. But at Gen Con, right, we're going to have a bunch more adventures, right, another special, right? But then our next thing after that, is the characters start creeping into tier 2, right, levels 5 to 10, right, which a lot of people think it's like that's the sweet spot, right, our crunchy spot. We'll be at Winter Fantasy, which is our in-house show that we run in February, so it's actually just a couple weeks ago. But we'll have a massive slate of cool new content, but also a lot of really cool new player options that they'll be able to do in the campaign that'll all unlock when they get into tier 2.
Oh, that's great.
We want tier 1 to be simple, right? We want it to be easy for you to just to grab a character and sit at a table and play, right? And then once you get into tier 2, we want to start adding cool new things for your characters to do, like join organizations, or be a knight, or become a Templar and join. Right, I'm part of the Greyhawk City Militia, right? And we have those things. So you'll see a lot of that stuff starting to come around Winter Fantasy.
Yeah, and it incorporates some of the stuff that we saw in the Dungeon Masters Guide 2024 with like marks of prestige. I don't know if that's a new thing for 2024 or something.
I think it is. Well, I think it's better codified in 20. Okay, we did similar stuff before, but now it's right in the DMG.
Right, yeah. And so I remember I got a mark of prestige with each of the one shots as well too. So it's cool to see some of that stuff being incorporated intentionally that's got introduced to 2024. But I also love, and I think this is something that was new, is players are getting physical cards of magic items and stuff as well.
When you come to a physical show, like one of our conventions with our premieres, you will actually get physical cards for your certs or the prestige, or there's a card that's kind of a curse, right? That's in one of our events that's running upstairs right now, where it's kind of hey, you have this thing and you're not really sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but in a future adventure, you're going to find out.
Right, yeah.
But you're going to have physical certs, and now you can actually sit down with other players and trade those physical certs with each other.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you know what? I really like that +1 armor. Well, I'll give you my sword, my +1 sword. All right, cool, we'll swap.
Right.
And for players who play at home, right, that are playing at home and they'll play it at their local stores, they can actually come to the conventions.
Right.
And we'll have trading posts. And when you come out to a trading post, you'll actually be able to turn your items that you got playing in your local store into those physical items.
Oh, nice.
Normally we attach our trading posts to a charity, right? Yeah, you come to the charity, you pay a few bucks, we'll make you turn into these physical certs. All right, we'll donate them to something like the Trevor Project or, things of that nature.
So that's so cool. I love that.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, Dave, thank you very much. This is really great. I've had a blast being here doing D&D. I've been here for the D&D stuff, not the Magic the Gathering. I'm not a Magic Gathering.
Me too. Let's not talk about it.
All right, but I think with this being the kickoff for Legends of Greyhawk and this being the first time for Dungeons & Dragons at MagicCon, this has been fantastic. So thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Have a good rest of your show.
You too. Thank you.